The blue box here is price times quantity. The blue box is the size of my revenue. So I'm earning this economic profit. The blue box is price times quantity. That's my revenue. So this is revenue. It's how much money I'm bringing in. And you could do the math. 42,000 bushels times 550. You could figure out how much it is. Okay? So 550 times 42,000 is $231,000. My little farm here is turning out revenue of $231,000. Okay? Revenue. Now, again, I take a box where this little round dotted line crosses my cost curve, draw across. That's 505. This blue rectangle is my cost. It's smaller than my revenue, which makes me very happy. Still earning economic profit. My cost is 505 times 42,000, which is $212,100. So my cost is 212,110, or 212,1. Now remember that in that 212,000 is already enough money that I would keep farming. So if I need to make $80,000 a year to keep farming, there's $80,000 in that 212,100. Whatever it takes for me to keep going is in that cost. Okay? It's not the way accountants do cost, it's the way real people do cost. All right? So now we have this little blue slice, and what's the little blue slice? Well, the little blue slice is our economic profit, not our normal profit. The normal profit is part of cost. It's down in here. That little slice is economic profit. It's extra profit. Okay? And it's 231,000 minus 212,100. It's $18,900. So if I need $80,000 to stay in business, I'm actually earning $98,900. $80,000 of normal profit and $18,900 of economic profit. Make me happy? Yes, I'm happy. Okay. What if we're here? This is bad. How do I know this is bad? I don't even have to do the work. I know this is bad. And how I know this is bad is my average total cost is always above my marginal revenue. If your costs are always higher than your revenue, you're in trouble. Again, we go to this point, MC equals MR. It's the black dot. We say that's the maximum profit, right? That's how you maximize your profits. Well, maximizing your profit is the same thing as minimizing your loss. So if you're losing money, MC equals MR will find you the point where you lose the least amount of money. Okay? So maximizing your profit mathematically is the same thing as minimizing your loss. Now, this says my cost is $5.25 per unit. I'm selling the wheat for $5.05. I'm not happy. I'm really not happy. Our price is still equal to marginal cost, marginal revenue, but now the price is less than my average total cost, which is a loss. So when you see this, price less than ATC, that, my friends, means you're a loser. Okay? Pretty exciting? Yeah. Again, how are we going to get good at this? We're going to go to Carnegie Hall, right? We're going to practice. All right, what's going to happen in this market now? We're back to the graph where we were earning economic profit, right? So we have this slice right in through here, and this slice is economic profit. Other farmers are going to see that we're making money. And what are they going to do? Well, next year they're going to grow less of whatever they were growing and more of what we were growing. So all of a sudden, there's going to be more wheat farming going on in the world. And if there's more wheat farming going on in the world, what happens to the price of wheat? So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? These other farmers start growing wheat. It shifts the supply curve for wheat out. There's more supply of wheat. When the supply increases, the price is going to decrease. So we're going to push the price down. It happens automatically. If all the corn farmers are making a ton of money, some other people who are growing other things are going to switch over to corn. Now there's going to be more corn. That's going to put downward pressure on the price of corn. Whatever crop they're not growing now, so if they left wheat to grow corn, now there's fewer wheat farmers, and the price of wheat is going to go up. Yes? And now next year, those guys are going, hey, we shouldn't have quit wheat. We should have kept doing wheat instead of going to corn. Except that if they hadn't gone to corn, wheat would still, right? It's a thing. So again, here we are, right? This is break even. All these things are even, right? And we're at the break even point. We get to that break-even point because of this. We started here. We're making extra profit. We're making an economic profit. The supply curve for the whole market shifts out. The price goes down. We end up here back at break-even. In perfect competition, the market, write this down if you have it. In perfect competition, the market is going to adjust so that the businesses over time are always breaking even. They might make a little extra one year or a little less the next, but over time, they're going to break even. What happens? If there's an economic profit, firms enter the market, that causes an increase in supply, causes prices to fall, and takes away that economic profit and leaves us with just our normal profit. Okay? There's a system, an automatic mechanism that gets rid of that economic profit. The opposite happens if we're losing money. If we're losing money, businesses are going to leave. So if all the corn farmers are losing money, they're going to grow less corn. They're going to grow something else. Supply curve is going to shift to the left. The price is going to go up, and those of us who kept on growing corn are going to earn a normal profit. Okay? Automatic mechanism that sends us to a normal profit. Okay? Now, this is the graph of the loser, right? This business is losing money. Should this person stay in business, or should they just go away? Should they shut their farm down? Good question. What's a simple answer? Loss, right? What do we lose if we shut down? In other words, I have my farm. I just say, hey, heck, I'm not going to grow anything now. We're just going to shut the farm down. What do I lose? Well, I have fixed costs for that farm. I still got to pay my mortgage, got to pay the electrical bill. So I'm still going to have costs to pay if I shut down, my fixed cost. If I can operate and make my loss smaller than my loss would be if I shut down, I should keep going. So the opposite of fixed cost is variable cost. If I can pay all my variable costs and even pay a little more than my variable costs, I should keep going. So the shutdown decision is, am I covering my variable costs? If I'm covering my variable costs or doing better than that, I should stay in business. If I can't pay my variable costs, then I'm losing my fixed costs, plus I'm losing the part of my variable cost I can't cover, and now I'm really losing a lot of money. Okay? We got that? Hopefully we got that. So what I'm going to do is look at my costs. Long as I can pay my variable costs, I'm going to stay in business. Okay? If loss is less than my total fixed cost, I stay in business. So here's my average variable cost. As long as my average total cost is up here, I'm losing money. As long as my average variable cost is not all above marginal revenue. And here what happens in this graph is that at this point, the average variable cost is equal to the marginal revenue. So that's just losing all of my fixed costs, but not losing any of my variable costs. I'm paying my variable cost. The price is $17, my variable costs are $17. So if I shut down, I'm going to lose my fixed cost. If I operate, I'm going to lose my fixed cost. Okay? So I keep going. I keep going. As long as that AVC curve is not completely above the marginal revenue curve, I keep going. Yay. All right. How about perfect competition in the long run? Well, we already talked about this. We already know, right? The system is going to drive us toward normal profit. So in the long run, if you're a farmer, you'd really like to get rich, but you're probably not going to get rich. You're going to earn enough money that you're willing to stay on the farm and keep farming, but you're not going to earn a bunch of money. Okay? You're going to make normal profit. So in the long run, in perfect competition, we're always at the break-even point. We're making normal profit, but not economic profit. All right. Is perfect competition a good thing? Well, in the long run, and that triangle's a little wacky, but ignore that. In the long run, perfect competition is just supply and demand. And the great thing about equilibrium in supply and demand is that is the maximum possible amount of consumer and producer surplus. So when we're at this market clearing price in supply and demand, where supply and demand cross, we maximize the consumer and producer surplus. Economists think that's a good thing. So when someone says to you, why would perfect competition be a good thing? Your answer is, it maximizes consumer and producer surplus. The other forms of business, if we have a monopoly or a monopolistic competition or whatever, they're going to not have the maximum. They're going to have less consumer surplus than they could. The business is going to take some of your consumer surplus away from you. So there's less advantage to consumers in non-competitive markets. Exciting? Yeah. This is at the break-even again. Okay. What else? Well, you notice that at break-even, the price equals marginal cost, right? Price equals marginal cost. We call that resource allocative efficiency. When the price is equal to marginal cost, all of the factors of production, land, labor, capital, and the entrepreneur, are being paid what they earned. Right? Everybody worked hard, they did their thing. You got compensated based on what you produced, what your economic contribution to this business was. And the marker for that is price equals marginal cost. So when price equals marginal cost, we have resource allocative efficiency. That's fair to everybody. The people who work harder got more. The people who contributed more got more. It's resource allocative efficiency. We allocated our resources as efficiently as possible. Okay, again, at the break even. And then the price also is at the bottom of the average total cost curve. In the long run of perfect competition, we're at the bottom of our average total cost curve. That means we're producing at the least possible cost per unit. In perfect competition, we produce in the long run at the least possible cost. We call that productive efficiency. So we're treating everybody fair, we're producing at the least. You see how this is good? Maximizing consumer surplus, treating everybody fair, producing at the lowest possible cost per unit. So every potentially desirable outcome you can have exists in perfect competition, which is why it's the comparison to other forms of competition to see whether or not they meet these three things. Does it maximize our consumer surplus? Does it have price equal to marginal cost? And does it produce at the minimum average total cost? That's good. Okay, break-even point. All right, let's move on to monopoly and see how it happens that monopoly doesn't meet all of those wonderful things that happen in perfect competition.